You know, we all learn off our experiences, and not dealing, but in working with each other. People seeking help, branching out, trying to get better in the condition that they're in from whatever it is that's killing them. Because we help each other. It's not counseling. That's a business. That's money. You know, you got to have love for your brother and sister to really, really help them, and not really expect anything financially, even though it just, you know, the society we live in. It's, if you got money, then you're better than everybody. And that's my whole point is my experience in working with individuals, and us having to identify factors around the individual, and it being family, friends, spouse, loved one, lover, whatever. Well, the individual seeking help is trying, and what the hard thing to identify and to see is how the ones around that individual are sicker than that one seeking the help. And a lot of times, 9 times out of 10, it's the ones that are actually broke financially, not spiritually, you know, not physically, financially, because they put themselves in that situation. But the family members or loved ones or whoever it is around them, their status in life outweighs that individual's strive to get better. They'll always be that person. They'll always be that person, because if we're not in trouble, you know, then we're not going to have to look at ourselves. And that's the whole thing is when you approach somebody, or somebody approaches me and goes at me, and it's like, well, let's do a solid self-appraisal. What's that? And it's like, we're going to write down our inventory for the day, and we're going to look and see how much you actually helped humanity, society, yourself in a way that helps others. You know, are we doing something, etc.? Because when we write out the inventory, it tells ourselves what is going on, why we can't get better. We don't write it out. So some individuals have, and it's like, do you see that? You're just as sick as the one that's trying to get help. You just can't see it. There's just no way. You know, and that's how we've been driven from day one. I was in school in 2nd grade, and remember people coming in, and it's like, you want to be an astronaut when you get older? Huh? You want to be a Major League Baseball player? Huh? Yeah. It's like, we're groomed from the beginning for destruction, and we are. Our careers end up destroying us, because there's shit along the way in our careers, drinking, drugging, whatever. If we don't get involved with that, then we end up like the family members or loved ones that sit there and they're like, look, why can't you just get better? Look at me. You know, and truthfully, it's like, but if you take all that away, then you'll have to seek and search as hard as the individual that you're ignoring, is my whole point. You know, because it's all based off of work permits from the universities. You know, what created all this with my story is it's everybody. Free though. Now granted, my family, my mom and dad, financially tried to, you know, help me, because they're thinking the worldly way. We'll pay this money and it should fix them. But if it was that easy, everybody would be getting fixed. But then you have to look at it as a business as well on trying to get better. Because if like me and others, if we're not making money and they don't make money, then they're not going to be in it. They're going to be doing something else, because unless they're making money, you're not going to do it. You know, it's hard to find these people with these huge hearts. You know, it's like with me, I'm waiting, because I've got a lot of material from the beginning, 33 months straight of pictures and journals and stuff and mugshots and all that, to put it together along with the articles and the transformation and all that from the hospital bed, and show people, you know. And then on top of that, you know, we can create some kind of a non-profit out of it. I mean, we've got to make a living, but create something where that's the starting point of our way to talk to each other and look up stuff, because you have to show stories that's like, look, I had the experience of going in and talking to all them people and everything, and them trying to make you do this and this, and truthfully, it's about you and your experience. Only you know the experience. It's like the whole thing, the individual trying to get help, their experience is going to get them better. Their loved ones and them around them are not going to understand that. So they're going to be doing things that is different. And so they're going to look at that like, going to meetings and stuff. It's real, man. It's real. It's been weighing on me. Because when we look at ourselves, and we truly do, we every last one of us show alcoholic tendencies, alcoholic behavior, and we do. Their companies, their businesses, even if they claim a religion, is number one over God, the same way alcohol is in an alcoholic's life. Number one over family and everything. That business is number one. It's like, well, if you have enough people you trust, then you could leave that. But see, the alcoholics don't trust anybody. They ain't leaving nobody with their alcohol, because it's a control thing. See, the control that they display is no different than the alcoholic's control of the alcohol, and how the alcohol controls its life. Because what they've done to get to where they're at is controlling them. To them, it's normal. And it is. It's normal. And to most people, it would. If they're listening to me right now, they're like, that guy's crazy. But it's not good, is my whole point. I went to the Georgia Dome, the Masters, and all that when I was younger. My dad he worked for a company, and man, when I was young, we were in Hooters, and Sam White from the Cincinnati Bengals was in there. Jim Kelly was there, and Coconuts. One night, talked to him, talked to a bunch of different people, pros. And early on in life, it set the stage in my head. The atmosphere was so powerful of seeing all these Oriental people, Asians coming in and buying the whole damn novelty shop out, souvenir shop. You had to get in there and get yours while you could. And I saw the atmosphere of all the women, and the bars and all that stuff, and seen all that, and that in my head was a seed, and seeds grow, and tied into Tony Montana, Scarface, New Jack City growing up, a bunch of hardcore rap by design. Rap's designed to get in your head and won't make you want to sell dope and shit. And I did. I got busted and got, had to do my part of time and shit. But my whole point is my whole programming was wrong in the beginning, because the environment is designed to make it to where status outweighs you being spiritually and physically, emotionally, mentally sound. That's my whole point, And anyways, there's some crazy shit fixing to happen with this election. I got a whole lot of information. I've studied my ass off for almost 6 years. AA started all of it, and the whole thing is I suggest you start studying the movement of the zodiac and the ecliptic. I ain't lying either. Find out what your sign is, when you were born, where it was all at, because it's real. It's real stuff. Some ancients of old they could read your eyeballs, because they would consider your eyeball as the zodiac, as the ecliptic. And depending on what was wrong with you, these shamans or whatever could, help you. Just it's my whole point is those individuals over there, a lot of them are in the pharmaceutical industry, and if that's your thing, I understand that, but I defeated that. I defeated it, and on freedom, on being free, on plants and shit, cannabis and hemp, and not in the Cheech and Chong way. I wish I could talk more about what's going on, but I'm in the Bible Belt down here in the south of the United States of America, in northwest Georgia, right beside Chattanooga. Listen to my accent. You know what I'm saying? Everybody around here is it's hardcore Baptist, religion, Methodist. You've got some Catholic churches. The Jesuits have moved in. It's some heavy shit down here. It's real, but it's like this. It's hard for me to see people. most religions now, there's miracles in the past. Well, nobody believes in miracles anymore. Well, the miracle is going to be within yourself. You ain't going to get, I got some articles done, and it wasn't about me. It was about the ones who helped me get there. And, it's like, but they don't want people to get better. They want them to stay over there and to stay right, quote unquote. We're right because we're, and it's not their fault. It's like, it's not our fault that we get hit with this, because the alcohol should never be put out here the way that it's mass produced. And all the pills, it's a pill for everything, and commercials, vodka, Jack Daniels. Some of y'all are struggling, and y'all go from watching an alcoholic commercial into a pharmaceutical commercial of showing people how happy they are when it's a lie. They're not happy. That's not life. That's not life. They get into our heads. Even if we're not on the drugs or the pills or the alcohol, we're allowing that signal inside of our head, our temple. Words create boxes. What I mean by that, words create things. Words you hear create a think tank within your head and your mind. Believe it or not, your subconscious festers on it. And the more you input and don't even know about, the more your subconscious has to, be all fucked up. And my whole point is you start cutting those signals, just like that signal and the pills and all that. When you cut those signals to the brain and the temple and push them away, you'll see your faculties will come back. We've numbed them over time. So what we've done is we've numbed them. We've suppressed our faculties. Alcohol is the worst vibration with pills, and it is. The pills alter our sleeping state. We're supposed to be in a trance. Our soul is supposed to be laying down and recovering and regrouping from the day and gathering in, and we're processing the positive stuff that we're going through and that we're trying to input that's positive. But no, we go to sleep under the influence of alcohol, pills, modified foods, and everything. And then while we're sleeping, our mind and our soul is altered into a man-made state. Because when we wake up, we're breaking a fast. Our body is in a fast. That's where the word break fast, breaking fast comes from. It doesn't matter what time you get up during the day. When you wake up, you're breaking the fast. That's when you first introduce something into your body, and it's the most important thing of the day. You don't have to necessarily eat all the ham and bacon and homemade gravy that gives everybody heart disease and cholesterol. That's by design. We're not supposed to eat it all like that. Now, I know it's hard to cut it, but start trimming back some, because when we start putting water in, we're 70% water. When we put more in, our thinking gets better. We cut all that around us, our thinking gets better. We can't get better just stop drinking or doing this. They can't get better by just not watching TV or doing something. Yeah, hypothetically, it's a process of thousands of distractions in front of us, and learning how to identify it, and them learning how to be open-minded and to say, all right, I'm sorry, I need some humility. Because they live better than they do, and they don't know it. They're better than us. It's sad too. And there's a lot of my Christian friends, and that's how they are. Family and friends, and it's horrible. It's horrible, for somebody's, but it's like this. If we are an alcoholic or an addict for 20 years, and our family or friends or whoever's seen us for 20 years, if they don't go to Al-Anon or go to something, they will never see you for the new you, ever. It will never happen. Their whole life, they don't even know what rehab, recovery, detox, none of that shit is. And the majority of those individuals are overweight. And this is where I get into it with them. I'm like, look, then let's go eat what I eat every day. Oh, you're stupid. It's like, why am I stupid? See, the same chemicals that made you obese is the same chemicals that made us alcoholic. You go into fear when I tell you to cut your food, because you know that you can't. And see, you can't think for shit either because of the food. You're constantly thinking about food, about that sweetness, that sugar, that taste. I know, I've been there. Same thing with alcohol, same thing with pills. You're in the same boat with us, but you're over there with money. And then you go take the pills to stay alive longer because the doctors on there are right. I've proven them wrong too. And I'm not saying they're all wrong, but what my story, this recovery, this addiction and all this stuff, the addictions were thrown on us. And they were. You know, there's shit everywhere that will cure you out there in them woods, but we're not taught that. For us to depend on the chemicals, the pills, because of the created obesity. Go in a gas station, any country you're in, dude, it's all sugar. Then now we make the dentists more money, but we got to have them. You know, that's my whole point is I'm not against all of it. I'm saying, and our work as going into recovery, getting better in a condition to stay in this thing, in this wavelength, is we have to identify everything that we do. That's our job. The fourth step is do a thorough inventory. And we have to, because if we don't, then we'll get caught up in some shit just like we did with the alcohol. And if a spade is a spade, we're going to call it a spade. Not because it's black. It could be a red fucking spade. It's still a spade. That's my whole point. We can't go into something and ignore anything. We have to find the root of it. What is the root? What is the cause of a lot of people not getting better? It's the input going into their brains and temples. It's the relationship with their loved one. Those are the two main ones that are never addressed. Ever. Ever. They bring up family day and rehab, but I mean, it's nothing, because then the families, most of them now have problems. It's like, I ain't got a problem, I'm just going back over here. And then there's always turmoil in that relationship or work or whatever, because nobody else is doing their job. Anyways, getting crazy. Election time. Y'all hang in there. Love you.